All right, you're asking for it, so here it is. Listen to this.
I want you folks laughing at we partners pod, kid. You understand? We in here drinking, singing, singing, all that shit, dog. We sweating, getting wet, all that.
All right, welcome to the 102nd episode of the Drinking Partners Podcast. Yes, this is our Michael Vick episode with the Steelers because Michael Vick, one of my favorite athletes ever, came in, he changed the game, he offered a level of versatility that most people hadn't seen from that position, and that's what the Drinking Partners do. We offer versatility in events, so we do live podcasts, we open up plays and things like that, we do stand-up comedy shows, we do whatever the hell you need
any kind
to entertain people.
If you want funny, if you want to,
You need a deep pass, we could do it. If you need us to run for 5 to get the first, we'll do that shit too. That's one of my best analogies ever.
That was a good one.
That was good. Every fifth analogy is pretty good.
Yeah.
It depends on the number and the athlete. Like once you're picking athletes that you just heard of and you don't know much about, that's tough. Vic, I could go in all day. We'll be great until they find those dogs in Day's basement.
See, and
Day just got a dog too.
Yeah, I did get a fuck. I don't even want.
It'll be fighting soon.
Yeah.
You got to pull your weight. I am half of your hosting tandem, Ed Bailey. I am joined, as always, with my co-host, Dave Bracey. Say what up to the people.
What's good with you people? We we are Drinking Partners, and if you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspod. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Libsyn, and Google Play under Drinking Partners. And you can find us on iTunes. You can find us on IG, Facebook, and Twitter at PartnersPod. It's the second episode, so
no. This is the third.
The third. Oh yes.
This is 3 of 3. This
is the third.
This
episode.
We want to apologize to the listeners. We've been We've been very mature and politically oriented the first 2 episodes. So when you listen to 101 and oh shit,
yeah, when you listen to 100, that'll be crazy.
Actually, no, we were
listening to 101.
We were on Going Deep.
Oh yeah, we were running. Yeah, so you'll hear that.
Then we did 101. Yeah. So you'll listen in 101. We're still maintaining a level of maturity while getting more progressively tipsy. And in this one, we're fucked up. So if you want to look out for Drinking Partners, you want to listen to Going Deep with Aaron Watson that's featuring us. Then you want to listen to us with Tom from Full Pint and Chris Bowles from Red Bull. No, it's not Red
Fish Bowl.
It's Red Fish Bowl. He's just an all-around entrepreneur / musician / substitute teacher randomly and drunken Uber driver. So, and then you listen to this and you're like,
man.
yeah, he's the Renaissance of hospitality. I don't even know if that's a Renaissance thing.
He does it all.
He does everything for you.
Yeah.
So,
and the community, shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Full Pint, Red Fish Bowl, get that living color, support small business.
Yeah.
And then you listen to this episode. So you listen to those 3 in that order, and you will see how we progressively got more fucked up. Because we're to the point on this other side of 100 where people give us beer. Thanks to the love of the listeners and the rating reviews and all the shit and all the people supporting the 100th episode and everything we've done, City Paper, all of that. People are now excited to work with us.
Yeah.
People bring us beer, and we still drink it and get fucked up.
It's a glorious thing.
My bladder is shot.
Yeah, we do it for you, man. We sacrifice our liver so you know what's good.
So you can drive to work.
So you know what's popping.
So you could drive to work and listen to us be drunk and be like, you know what? I remember a time when I was sitting with my friends and we were drinking. I'd like to duplicate that time in 4 days on Saturday. But right now it's Tuesday or Wednesday, whichever day is 4 days prior to Saturday.
Yeah, I mean,
can't do it.
And we hope that that's what you feel like on your way to work. We hope you feel like you had a drink. You can't have a drink on your way to work, but we wanted you to feel as if you had a drink. Then sobered up just enough to get to work.
We want you to feel like you've been drinking with us,
yeah.
And we also offer you chance to drink with us. We tell you where we are. We accept shots of Hennessy in lieu of rates and reviews. That's always been a thing, but rates and reviews are welcome.
That's the one thing that we dropped on the last one.
We didn't drop that. That's your thing.
Yeah, I didn't want to call you out. So
but please rate and review.
If you've been listening for 100 episodes and you heard the 101st one and was like, oh, they're not asking us to rate and review anymore. We don't have to do it. Nah, I dropped the ball. My bad. I might even ask Buzzy to cut that bitch back in. Like
Buzzy will throw it
production.
He's got 100 rate and review requests to somehow seamlessly put the audio in. It'll be in. Listen, you love us. When you see us in the street, you love us. Now, just put it on the internet.
True.
Just let the people on the internet know. So we have a special episode. We have a new sponsor, which is pretty cool. And this entire episode is going to determine whether a sponsorship goes beyond one episode. So listen to this. Even if you don't listen to it all the way through, click this episode at the beginning. At least listen to it for 5 minutes. That counts as a download. We're happy.
Yeah.
But we're cool because this particular sponsor has brought us a plethora of straw beer, which, from my understanding, is Pittsburgh's first craft beer. The first craft beer. I'm fucked up.
Episode 3, man. But
first craft beer in Pittsburgh. So I feel important now.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a bit of history involved.
Yeah, I mean, it's 100 episodes. Like I said, I mean, we got 102 episodes, man. We finally got sponsors, which is super cool on this side of things, and they support us, so we would like you to support them.
Yes.
And we've got 2 actually popping. First one, like I said, we want to welcome Straub into the Epicast family.
Yeah, because we haven't had Straub on the podcast before. And you can find them at Vicini's Distributor, right? Did I say that right? Cool, because Vicini's is not a name that you find in East Cleveland in a black neighborhood. There are no Vicini's there, so I don't know if Vicini's Distributor brought this through, so shout out to them. I am drinking the Straub. I want to say Helles or Hells or Heles. It's Helles. I think it's Helles. It is let's see. What type of beer is this? It says pairs well with rotisserie chicken.
Oh shit, that's the I need more of that in my life. Wait.
So it's a lager. Yeah. It's a lager. You get your Straub Helles. You go down to Giant Eagle. You get your rotisserized chicken.
And some Helles?
It's good, though. Especially good right now.
That sounds like the move. Like, that might be the move tonight. Like, I might stop by Giant Eagle.
Nah, I'm good. I got the Straub Helles. Very good. I would say for what we're doing right now, it's excellent because we've already done 2 podcasts. We've been drinking. So it's 5.5, not too hoppy, not too much. It's said to be subtle in flavor. Light malty notes. These are notes that I have on the beer. If you've been listening, you know that these aren't words for me. But I will say this. I'll break it down to Ed Bailey. Look, you're trying to chill. You don't want to do too much, but you want a good tasting beer, but you don't want to be lit afterwards. This Straub Helles is good for you. I recommend.
Yeah, it's a nice after work beer. I mean, the turn down instead of the
definitely
turn
good
up,
after work beer or for those people who are still going out, you've been out, you've been drinking a little bit, it's 1:15, you kind of want one more, but you don't want to go real deep. You don't want to go balls deep. You want to play just a tip. You get your Straub Helles.
Yeah. Truth, your cutter at the end of the night, you know what I mean?
Something you can hold for a good half hour. You could sip it. You don't lose flavor, taste, or... it's still 5.5, so it's not heavy. It's not the lightest of things, but you're not going to change your level of drunkenness.
Yeah, true. It's a nice turn down at the end of the night, man.
Yeah.
I got this Doppelbock, and
you said that like you knew what it was.
It's a lager, but like it's super rich, like and deep. Because when I think lager, I think Yuengling, and shout out to Yuengling.
You have to decondition yourself.
Yeah, shout out to Yuengling. Fuck them. But
shout out to Yuengling. Fuck them.
This shit is actually like delicious. Like it's robust, and it feels like
it's robust.
It's robust.
I don't even know if he brought that off the sheet. I don't know. That might be because Days beer reviews are going to be a lot more organic. Like I'm going to give you the beer terms, and I'm going to tell you how I feel.
Like this is
everything's from the heart.
This is. I mean, it's exciting or whatever, and I feel like, especially like right now with the warm, with the cold winter months or whatever, this is a nice, good, like a warmer type, like more rich, like you get into. It's not the summer like light. Any Belgians,
it's a Game of Thrones
and
beer.
All that, like
it's what they're drinking when they got the whole fucking Winter Wolf on their back, the whole
Walkers.
wolf jacket, and they're just walking around with a mug. They got that Straub Doppelbock in that mug.
True.
Turning up and making decisions about the castle.
It's the Jon Snow preferred beer.
Oh, Game of Thrones, they should have their people endorse certain beers.
Yo, yeah, I mean, yeah, he's definitely got a mug of White Walker's Straub Doppelbock. I don't even know if those words make sense together, but yeah.
The beer that killed that society. Doppelbock. We created all the White Walkers. They was all fucked up. Drunk driving on their horse and carriage, crashing into shit, falling off the earth because it was flat. All that shit.
But if you're cold out, man, and again, this is another nice beer to come home to and chill out and eat. I feel like this is good with some beef, some little, you know what I mean?
Pause.
Like any good meal at the end of the night and turn down.
Yeah, so we're happy to have them. I'm happy to have these because I definitely need to. I needed an under 7 at this point.
Yeah,
that's
with the third.
7.
That's what I'm saying. It's so perfect because if you'd have came in here with a 9, I'd have been like,
They're like, damn, I told you we was doing a couple before this. You just don't care. You don't care about it.
True. So, shout out to Straub.
Out in St. Mary's, PA.
Yeah.
Look for him.
Yeah, and from what we just had, now if you listen to this, we just had Tom on the last podcast, and when the rep came in and he was like, yo, he's introducing us to these beers, Tom had nothing but great and amazing things to say about Straub, man, which was a dope endorsement in and of itself. Like, I got excited. I was like, oh shit, I need to be out there.
Anytime a small business in your industry has good things to say about you, you've done something right.
Yeah.
You know, once they're pro your product and they're a small business, then you've at least not become a Walmart of your industry.
Exactly.
Not a bullshit of your industry. So that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Straub.
So shout out to Straub. And also, I want to shout out Hooch. They if you don't know, it's an app, and what they do is they let you know what's going on in your city when it comes to cocktails, craft beers, alcohol, specials and things of that nature. And we've combined, got a little sponsorship or whatever. So what we're doing is if you download the app and you put in DrinkPod, then you get that app for $1 and 30 free drinks. 30 free drinks for $1 for downloading this app. You
cannot find a better deal than that in the world.
30 free drinks for $1. Now listen, man. You do that helps us out at the podcast. You put $1 in. If you support the podcast, we do it for the love, but at the same time, we need to keep this thing going. So if you do it, you want to support $1, we hollering at you. What's good? What's good with $1, B?
Okay, let's break this down. 30 drinks is the equivalent of 5 or 6 one-night stands. We're giving you 5 or 6 one-night stands for $1. What? Like, you can't ask for anything better. You can listen to us on the ride to the hotel. I don't care. Support the Hooch. It's a fucking great application.
True.
They let you know about cocktails and stuff like that. You get into some real cool spots in major cities, and then if you use the DrinkPod,
you drink pod code
30 drinks for $1.
You get 30 drinks for $1, and that's what the app is. You get a free drink every day for 30 days.
3 cents a drink.
A free drink every day for 30 days. Even afterwards, you're getting that's what the app is. It lets you know what specials and what's popping in the city, and then you go to that place, and when you walk in, you get a free drink from this app. That's what this app is. But the first 30 days. It's going to cost you $1. You're going to get 30 free drinks, my friend.
If you don't have a one-night stand during that, if you're a single man and you use the DrinkPod sponsorship code, you don't have a one-night stand, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, we did everything we could.
We did everything we could.
102 episodes. If you ain't got a little bit of groove
a little bit of swag.
I don't know, man.
We try to swag it up a bit.
30 drinks for $1. You
30.
Man. And here's the thing, man. You download it. If it's not your flavor, the thing about apps is you can always delete an app, man. Like, that's just how it is. We would never tell you, hey, man, you got to keep this shit on you. You got to, nah, man. Because sometimes, you get into some shit, you don't know what it is. It ain't the thing. But $1, 30 fucking with the free drinks, fucks with us, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to
definitely
Hooch.
do so.
And shout out to motherfucking free beer. I love that shit.
Free anything is dope.
Oh, and speaking of free beer, there's free beers at all of our shows. And starting in 2017, we will be at Comtra Theater down in Cranberry, Route 19, every last weekend of the month in 2017. So we will be bringing you, there's always going to be a sponsor, as there always is. So we will always have free samples at the shows. It's always BYOB. That's our brand, BYOB Drinking Partners, and there's music and comedy every last weekend of the month. We're really excited about that, and if you're looking for something to do and you're in the northern section of the city, holla at us.
Yeah, so just look out for the heads up on the next coming show. We'll let you know. We'll always keep you abreast. Now we got a guest here. We were on his podcast earlier today.
Yeah.
And again, you got to listen to his podcast first. You got to listen to ours with 4 Pints second, and then you'll get the coup de grace, the wrap-up session where we just let our hair down is here today. But we are happy now to have him on our podcast. We have Aaron Watson from Getting Deep with Aaron. Say what up to the people.
Hey. That's going to be episode 184. And you guys are over 100.
Yeesh.
And let me give you a stat to open this thing off. 50% of podcasts never make it past the 7th episode.
Oh,
50%
shit.
of podcasts.
Because they ain't real with it.
And then 50% of those podcasts that make it past don't make it past the 23rd episode. So we are in the creme de la creme
A quarter.
top podcasts.
Yeesh.
Each over 100.
Yeesh.
Well, that's the advantage of going into podcast without knowledge. So we didn't have any statistics. We
had no milestones.
We
or
don't know
goals.
at what point we actually got good. It could be our
We just
57th
hope
episode.
people don't stone us when they see us in the streets for the shit that we be saying. So that's dope.
No, that's awesome. So congratulations to you on your continued success. 184, that's something we aspire to get to. For the listeners who are not aware, just give them a brief synopsis of what Getting Deep with Aaron is. We were on. I think you're a great interviewer. You touch on topics that people want to talk about. But if you can kind of give a synopsis on what the cast.
Yeah. So Going Deep's thesis is that
Fucking it up. I'm sorry.
it's all good. Going Deep's thesis was when I started, I was 23 years old. And I look around at like all my peers. There's a lot of people who don't love what they're doing. There's a lot of people who don't know what options are actually out there for them, because you go to school, or you like listen to someone being like, these are the couple jobs you can go to, and if you go to like the career resource of a university, they're going to be like, well, there's you can go to grad school, you can go to law school and become a lawyer, you can go to business school and become a business person, or you can go down these like 5 other paths.
Yeah, you can't trust them because they're always going to tell you more school.
Yeah, not only that, but they're also like, they are working in a university as opposed to actually being out there and like
Right.
making moves and defining their own path. And I really think that for my generation, the millennials who are much maligned and catch a lot of shit, there's so many possibilities out there if you're willing to be creative and put in the work. And like what I love about you guys is you guys are hustling, putting out these podcast episodes, doing the stand-up comedy, working the other jobs, and making it happen for yourself. And the people I'm interviewing are people who are doing similar types of things, and I love just illuminating that story. I had a guy on, he has a vending machine empire.
I know
Wow.
now. Funny shit.
Wow.
I know a woman who's just starting to get into the vending machine business, and when you hear that, you like vending fucking machine. But it's just one of those things that again, millennials will find a reason to make
Yeah.
money off of
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah,
you know
there's
what
a
I mean?
void. There's so many voids somewhere. You know
And
what I
like
mean?
she had this whole business plan on these vending machines. I was like, you know what? That makes sense. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but fuck it, go for it. I'm all in.
Shit, even just for the fucking stuck candy that you get, because you know how many times I done had some candy stuck, like you put the money in and it don't drop, and you're not like nobody gives a fuck about your struggle, so you just gotta leave it there, man.
Yeah.
But think about how hard it is to sell a vending machine to a place that doesn't have it. Your argument will make total sense. Doesn't cost you anything. It offers this to people, but someone has to care about that one day where you got to come install the vending machine. Like, I don't really want to move this couch. Like, fuck you, yo. It's a fucking vending machine. So shout out to all the vending machinists who go out there and get me fucking Skittles and Pop-Tarts.
You know how life-saving that shit is?
Yo,
like,
have you ever been trying to holler at a chick and needed some gum? Vending machines got
vending
that.
machine,
They got gum,
you know what I
mints,
mean? It's
Pop-Tarts.
lunchtime and you're like, I got to work through my lunch, but I'm still hungry. Like, boop, I got my, you know what I mean, just to get you through.
But fuck the vending machines that try to sell you like hamburgers. Nah, man.
Dude, like, I don't want to heat. If I got to put microwave or any of this extra, like, nah. Like,
I need to come straight from the spout to my mouth, man. Don't be trying to throw this extra step in, selling me a hot dog in the vending machine. Nah, I don't want no cup of noodles out your vending machine. I don't need that extra step. Sorry. I need to get that off my chest.
But another thing is, like, when you hear someone who's doing something absolutely ridiculous, like they are a world traveling stand-up comedian, or they are, a columnist for the Washington Post and Bloomberg. For someone who's, any age, but particularly like a 23-year-old fresh out of school, charting a course to where something like that could be possible, or where you make that happen for yourself, is actually really hard. You're not really equipped with that skill set. So what I'm also trying to do is, find that guy who has all these credentials, his own wealth management company. It's like, how did this start?
Yeah.
And then he gives it to you straight. He says, it started, I was on a trading floor. I was some junior entry level trader or analyst, and I took really good notes. And then the other guys who worked around me noticed those notes and said, hey, can I look over those? And they started getting passed around. I noticed that people wanted to read them. So I put them on some old shitty GeoCities website back in like 2001. And then 10 years later, I'm a quote-unquote overnight sensation. But that's not actually how it happened.
Yeah, that's
there
how
was the grind.
It takes 10 years to become
there was the
overnight.
consistency. And that is a narrative that isn't always shared with someone who comes right out of school and wants it all and wants to like make a dent on the universe. It's going to take some time.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that you don't learn until you get into it, because like you see success, you don't see the background or whatever, and it is like sometimes it's daunting. It's so daunting that people don't understand, because I mean, in America we have an obsession with like hero worship, and like a lot of the history, at least when I was in school, was geared towards the heroes, and like they were flawless, and it was like I can't live up to this standard. It's like, wow, you got to really be a special person. What you don't understand is that these are all fucked up regular people that have, this particular thing about them, or this thing that they did, and they failed a fucking like a lot of fuck ton, you know what I mean? But because we focus on the success story and not, how you get there, you think of them as these like gods and elites or whatever, as opposed to somebody that you can actually be. And I think that's the detriment that we have in the society when we do worship our idols so much, because it's the success and not the background.
And we have so much negative self-talk too. You're like with this person and you're already putting them up on a pedestal. But like we've interviewed the mayor, Bill Peduto, and once you get in a room with him and he's like talking about his art or whatever it is, you're like, oh, this
being
is just
a roadie for Grateful Dead.
Yeah. Exactly.
You're like, what the fuck? Where did that come from?
Yeah, but like this is just a regular human being, and he worked really hard towards a certain goal, towards a certain direction. But that's what actually got him there, as opposed to this like, black box. I don't understand how that possibly could happen.
Yeah, exploit yourself. Like that's what people are going to do to you. So what you're taught in college is to acquire skill and let someone who has a business exploit it. Which what we're learning as millennials is to take something and exploit ourselves. And then once you exploit yourself, fine, you can invest in something with some deep meaning that's not going to make you any money, but you have to exploit yourself to a certain degree to make some money. And that doesn't necessarily mean
even
that you got to do anything.
Keep it going.
That doesn't necessarily mean, and I don't want to have a negative connotation on that, but what that means is to tap into whatever, skill set you have and turn that into a cash cow. So if mine is telling jokes, and I'll exploit the fact that people want to come see me tell jokes.
And not even exploit it. It's you value your art. I mean, that's the thing, is that we put time into something. It's a thing that gives it has value. Because if it didn't have value, you wouldn't want it. You see what I'm saying? So you have to value that, and not so like, people have different philosophy. For me, I don't want to I don't want to take it to the point where like, you're not getting as much as you're putting in for the product or whatever. I just want to be able to continue to create it and live a lifestyle that's decent. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
While doing that, like I don't need to hit $1 million status like on a, you know what I mean, like selling out like, arenas or whatever to be happy with what I'm doing. If I'm able to continue to do what I do, and live.
Well, the reason I say exploit yourself, again, I'm coming from the perspective of a middle-class individual who goes to work, knows what he brings to the table, and understands that no matter how much money I make or what value I bring to the table, I'll always make more money for the person who owns this place than I will for myself. So exploit yourself. Be the person that owns you. Be the person who capitalizes most off of the skill set that you've identified. Because they hire me and they pay me for a certain skill set that I have. When we sit in reviews, they talk about that skill set. The job description has all this other shit. But yo, Ed, you're good at this. And you've been doing this, and we're happy you do this, so we're going to give you this raise. It's like, nah, I made you this much money, though. How come I can't get a percentage of that? But that's not the case. Exploit yourself. So you will decide what your raise is. You will decide how much you work. You know what I mean? Tap into your skill set and do that. And I think that's what's really cool about your podcast. It parallels with ours in the sense that we're always promoting that self-efficiency, that self-efficacy. Like, go out there and do it for yourself. Find what you're doing, promote that. And we talk about your journey, because I think what we do a lot here is we allow people who are in certain spots to talk about how they got there, talk about themselves, and you do the same.
So what do you, like, just in your own opinion, like, what do you see as like the common thread, throughout, I mean, you're what, 183, 184?
Yeah, well, we're at like 161 right now. By the time yours is up, it'll be 184.
So
there'll be 20-something episodes that
two
come out.
Two per week.
So, through this, like, what do you see kind of as the common thread of your guests and that entrepreneurial, like...
The biggest thing that I see is that people underestimate their ability to learn something new when it's something that is useful to them. So like that, we were kind of talking about school again, like when someone's dictating to you read this curriculum or follow this syllabus, it's only easy to do that when you are really invested in learning what they're talking about. And like, I'm going to be real. Like, I barely read during high school. I barely read during college. Bullshit. And now in these 2 years since I've graduated and doing the podcast and stuff, I'm so excited to read the book of like the person who's about to come on the show so that I can interact with them and understand where they're coming from. And additionally, learning a book about marketing so I can get the word out about my show and the stuff that I'm trying to do better. That's so much easier when I'm invested in the result of that knowledge being attained. And that's the same thing with all these people that came on. There was a guy I just interviewed he lives in Hawaii, and he has a self-publishing company in addition to having a couple Amazon bestsellers. And he basically decided, I'm going to teach people like very specific business skills. Like maybe it's like a 45, 50-page book, but you are going to get this because I've spent 18 months trying to figure it out. And then I'm going to also teach people how to self-publish their own books. And that's going to be my whole business. And he just tears through this information because he is so invested in acquiring those skills because he knows what the payoff is. And now he's living in Hawaii.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, that is something that, we've seen, as well, is that, a lot of autodidactic, like...
Autodidactic. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. 3 episodes in one day? You're going to bust out that? Days showing off, people.
But I mean, it's people that are thirsty for knowledge, and we live in an era where we have supercomputers in our hand. Yep. So there's no such thing as I don't know. If you say I don't know, that's because you're like, you might not. It's I can find out. Like, let me find out is how I've used it. If somebody asks me a question, I'm like, yeah, if I don't know it, I want to know it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing that I found. That's kind of the common thread to people who do start businesses. You know what I mean? Like, they. Like I like the joke and say I got a master's in Google's, but like there's so much I've learned so much from Google's. Like I Google at 20, 30 times a day, at least just any shit that comes in it that I don't know how or what the fuck, and you can have that knowledge instantaneously. Like 100 years ago, people would murder your entire village and country for that type of power. And we have it in our hand. And, like we use it to watch cat videos, but like the people that are, moving industries and making things for themselves are the people that are like, look, I may have a formal education in this or whatever, but like anybody that's in an industry like of any sort, you always have to stay on top of that industry in order to maintain relevancy. I mean, you can't just learn some books, 10 years ago, never read again and be cool like 20 years from now. Like the industry is always changing no matter, what industry you're in. So, those people that are successful are those that always stay up on top of their knowledge. And now we're in an age where Google allows you to do that for free. You don't have to take those, courses and go cross country and the conferences and all that other bullshit. I can stay on top of my shit. If I'm about my shit, I can stay on top of my shit on a regular basis by having that interest and being, fervent in my thirst for knowledge and staying on top of that. So, I see a lot of that in our guests.
And the other part of that that's so important is you're happy to do it. You're happy to go after that. Mm-hmm. And when you can bring that type of energy to it, it's just you like I surprise myself with what I'm able to kind of still hold on to. Like after you read something like, oh man, I can't believe I remember that like obscure part of that one obscure chapter that I read, but it's because you're bringing that energy of I'm so excited to learn this as opposed to like, here, let me shove this down your throat.
Yeah.
So coming out of school, what was the, I guess, perceived path for an Aaron Watson? Like, did you have any kind of idea of what you were looking to do? How did you deviate and then say, you know what, I'm going to do the cast? Or?
Yeah, so this is kind of a wild story. So I studied political science first, and then you realize two things. Number one, people with a political science degree don't get jobs after they graduate college. And then number two, most of the political decisions that are made on economic thinking.
Yep.
So I started studying economics, and from there, realized, like I got really into like the like banking and finance type of classes, and realized like I have friends who are crazy smart, like engineers for mechanical and computer science and all this stuff, and they didn't understand what I was talking about with like some of the finance stuff that I was going through. So I was like, oh, maybe I can help people. Maybe I can like teach or like work in this area, really become an expert in it, and went into financial advising. And financial advising is not really financial advising in a lot of instances. It is financial sales.
Yep.
Which I didn't appreciate coming out of school because that's also not something that they ever
gets me the best commission.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's not something that they really talk to you about when they send you to the career fair and they're like, oh, all sorts of great jobs in there. They're just saying, hey, we want to see that you got a job so that we can say 83% of our graduates get jobs. Thumbs up for us.
Yeah.
And in getting into that job, quickly realized, wow, there's some really perverse incentives here.
Yep.
And, coming to all these realizations was painful, but at the same time, it was sold to me as you're an entrepreneur, you are, because I already knew that's
you're
kind of what I wanted.
Your own,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they basically say you sell more, you get more.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
Yeah.
And being ignorant, I did not understand that that's what the situation was. So I, in the meantime, had been listening to podcasts for like 4 years, was obsessed, like 2 to 3 hours of podcasts per day, like walk to and from class, driving anywhere, and basically decided like, I want to do this. How can I make this happen? And the thing when you're in financial services is you have to register any sort of outside business activity. They want to make sure you're not like Bernie Madoff pyramid scheming somebody.
Yeah.
So they want to know all your sort of business dealings. And I'd been doing semi-professional ultimate frisbee before that, and they're like, yeah, sure, no problem, $50 for a game, like whatever, you're just throwing a disc around. And so I thought it would be the same thing with the podcast. I'm like, this is going to be pretty innocent, just interviewing interesting people.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, no, you can't do this. We will reevaluate in 3 years. So I walked out to the parking lot and got into my car and screamed as loud as I could. And
wait, they said you could not podcast.
yeah, they said, we are not going to approve this.
Wow.
You can't work here and host a podcast. So I screamed as loud as I could in my car, came back in, decided it was time to probably move on. And, the next week put in my 2 weeks notice to be out of there.
Wow.
Congratulations
Yeah.
to you for making that
True.
decision.
But
I
leap,
fucks
man.
with that. Like, fuck these people
Yeah.
that tell you what you can and cannot do, because I'm still running from the powers that be at my job, like acting like I'm not Ed Bailey on the internet, even though I'm clearly that guy.
That was my 20s, man. I worked. There were times, I worked for a long time, like 3 jobs at a time, sometimes or whatever. And the average, job that I had was maybe 3 or 4 months, because I had always got to points where I was just like, I don't give a fuck enough about this to continue to take this shit. And also, I think that I'm worth more than this. You know what I mean? Like, so even though, like, and I think, like, to do that, you kind of have to be comfortable with struggling. You know what I mean? Like, you got to, like, because you're going to struggle. You're going to hit a point, but it's going to be worth it at the end. And to have that confidence, and that, like, that grit to actually go through some shit like that is kind of rare. You know what I mean? Like, and, again, the common theme is that, you look at success and getting, like, knocked the fuck down constantly before you figure it the fuck out. But, like, people get into this weird space of comfort, and they're like, I don't percentage wise, maybe like 7 out of 10 people would be like in that same position and go, you know what, it's not even worth it, and just stick to it. You know what I mean?
Like they'd let the podcasting go, especially how long ago was this?
this was a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so at that point it had started to boom, but I mean, you got to figure podcasting, especially in this city, is still new to people. Like,
Very.
you still got, there's so many blue collar people still working in this city. So many people who go to high school, graduate, get a job at 19, 20, and work that job till I'm 65.
They don't even know what they don't know what podcast really is.
The fuck is you doing on the internet with your opinions?
Yeah.
I'm like,
You mean the comment section? That's what you do?
What do you mean you tell people how you feel? You gonna leave so you could tell people how you feel? Fuck how you feel. We gotta eat this big ass chicken for dinner. How you gonna pay for this chicken? Is your feelings gonna buy chicken?
How you gonna pay for all this straw we drinking with this rotisserie?
Yeah, so I commend you. We talk about it all the time. We are very fortunate to have embarked on this endeavor at the time that we did, because so many people are into people who are just trying to do something on their own. And so many people understand that at this point, people are just trying to do shit on their own. Like, why work for you when I can exploit myself? I can take my skill set, make money off it, pay my own fucking benefits, pay myself, create my own schedule, and really be invested in what I'm doing, as opposed to sitting at a desk with a 73-year-old lady trying to figure out if her health is good enough to sell her this annuity. Like, that's fucking, like, that's weird.
It's grimy, man. Like,
it is kind of grimy. It's not, but it is. Like, it's kind of grimy, though.
yeah, I mean, I avoided sales for quite some time, and like now I'm in a place where, like, we, even with the podcast, like, we support products and things that we actually enjoy and imbibe and do, we're not at a point where it's like, oh, you know what, we're just going to start saying some random shit just to make money, like, because that's not how it is. And I think at the end of the day, like, if you want to, make your own thing, first you got to figure out what your thing is, what you are passionate about. You know what I mean? Like, make it valuable, work at it, you know what I mean, to make it good and make it valuable to other people, and then support other people with what they do. And I think a lot of people don't fully understand that. Like, and I tell people all the time, and I think I say it so much that people think it's just a tagline, but like, if you support other people, people will support you. So
once you invest in that community, you got to get in that community, and that community has to be built.
If you have a thing that is valuable, and you're not just trying to sell snake oil, if you have something that's valuable and you support other people's hustles, and they see that you have a value, they're going to support your hustle. You know what I mean? Like, and that is how all of us have done, like, you look at it, the cliche, you didn't build that road and shit. And, I've said it 1,000 times. I'll say it again, but like, we are built on the backs of all the hard work that has come, up to this point. And you look at today, like, you look at the people that are successful and the people that help each other out is how you get, to it. Or you can fuck people over and be miserable.
Yeah, but if you're bringing any sort of long-term perspective to what you're trying to do, that does not last over decades. That may last a couple months, that may last a couple years, but in the building of your own thing, it's so closely tied to your identity that if you aren't really being genuine, at some point
Yeah, you'll see cracks.
It's gonna
break. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You'll have people call you on your bullshit, and you won't be able to invest like you want. Like if you're not fully into it, you won't invest. Like even if you're like, yo, this is making me money, you won't invest. You won't spend that time visiting a brewery if you're not fully involved. You're not gonna drink beers that you don't know shit about. You know what I mean? You're not gonna do those small things. But again, like people of our generation, we've been very fortunate to understand that, we can create our own businesses. We can be our own bosses. So kudos to your podcast for promoting that, man. 'Cause that's our big thing. Like that is outside of the craft beer, that is our thing. Like, people who are doing shit for themselves.
Yeah.
Making it happen for themselves and are willing to support others who do shit for themselves. Now, I just cracked another straw, the Dunkel.
Dunkel?
Yeah, because I'm going down in ABV.
So
I
this
went
is
from
dark?
5.5 to 5.2. I went from
5.5,
this is definitely dark. It has a more rich flavor, a lot thicker.
Yeah.
I'll read the description. Slightly sweet, toasted bread flavors balanced by a mild, noble hop bitterness. I don't know what that means, but what I'll tell you is this. Think about the Helles, right?
Yeah.
Think about that same scenario, but you want more of a thick, like a more, it's a taste that hits you a little harder. It's a little more like flavorful. The beer itself, again, it's a darker beer, but not going to get you fucked up, and you can continue with it. So
yeah. And that's
it's a cold night, but I'm not trying to get fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I could see myself with some chestnuts.
I got responsibilities.
Helping my kids trim the tree. Because as a dad, like basically as a dad, you try to figure out how drunk can I be with the family.
Exactly.
Shit. That's what being a
your
dad is.
level of inebriation, so that I can still be good.
Yeah, like,
but still be happy.
and this is a good beer for that. Like, I don't have to be drinking juice. Like, I can have a couple Dunkels and fill a fucking buzz, but I can do all this Christmas shit.
True.
All this fucking putting a ribbon on a, you know what I mean? Like, I imagine when me and wifey wrap gifts, I'll have a Dunkel. I have
Yes.
several Dunkels.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's wrap the gift.
Because I don't give a fuck who you are, man. I don't give a fuck who you are. I mean, there's like the 1% of people who really just like dudes that just really just love wrapping presents.
Don't like certain
and,
shit.
Yeah, wrapping presents and putting shit together. Yo, a couple years ago, we put this fucking pool table together and we didn't have all the tools like necessary to do it. Man, that shit took like 4 hours on Christmas
that,
night.
okay?
Like, you
Fuck that.
You need a Dunkel for that shit.
You know what a man is? A man is a person who's going to fucking support all shit manly. Like, that's what a real man decides what he decides is manly, and that's all he's doing. I don't know where it comes from, but like, there's certain shit that I'm just not into just because I don't know how manly that is. So,
yo, man.
Wrapping gifts? Sure, I like folding things. I fold my own clothes, but am I going to sit there with some wrapping paper? Hell no. That's a woman thing.
Yeah, true. Like, I'm MacGyvering some shit like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, how the fuck? It's nice
There's
with a
nothing
Dunkel.
particularly weak about being into that, but that's a woman thing. I don't understand why, but I feel like when gifts are being wrapped, I should be sitting across the room with a drink, telling you that you're fucking up wrapping shit. I should not be involved in wrapping it. Like, it is understood when I start wrapping that it's not going to turn out well. So let me critique what you're doing.
I give it in bags, and then my wrapping thing is really just like a ball of wrapping paper stuffed in another ball of a box of some shit.
I walked in with shit, just shit. I walked into my sister's fucking baby shower with just the tub in a fucking box.
You'll get it in the Marshall's bag, my nigga. Like,
No, you're not.
I
took it out of the bag without the
receipts
receipt.
off.
I want you to see this. This is a bunch of wrapped gifts and then Ed's gift with a picture of it on the front of the box. Like, that's me right there.
I'm gonna take all the tags, all the receipts. You don't know how much I paid for it.
Ain't no mystery. I don't understand the mystery. I got you this.
Yeah, that's enough work.
Like,
That's it.
the fuck I need you to be trying to figure this out. Nah, yo, I got you this.
I need instant
What
gratification.
is it? Look at it. That's exactly what it is. I looked at your situation. I assessed you needed this. I went out and got that.
True.
Thank me later.
Yeah.
I don't understand that whole like trying to be a secret Santa. That's just stupid to me.
Yo, if you got me some shit, I'm just happy you got that shit.
Give
Like,
me
I'm
some
not.
shit
I'm not
you know
gonna.
I need.
I've never gotten a present and been like, oh, but you couldn't wrap
I wouldn't.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Fam, what's up with your presentation? This is a dope ass gift, but your presentation is all off.
Where's the tissue in the bag, B?
I wanted a little bit of fucking build up to this. I just know what it is. Fuck out of here.
I've never ever had that thought.
No, not once. I remember one Christmas, this is a true story. My mother, all of our listeners, they're done with the Santa Claus thing. So my mother really tried to push the Santa Claus thing. Like, she was dead serious. But she would wrap all of the gifts. Like, she was so committed, she wouldn't wrap our gifts until the night before, like Christmas Eve. So one Christmas Eve, I think she just drank a little too much and fell asleep. So we come down early and shit's not wrapped. Like, it's all set up, but ain't nothing wrapped. So my mom was just like, go upstairs, Santa ain't come yet. I'm like, it's 8:30. it's fucking 8:30. Like, this nigga not coming. Like, he missed us. And we came back.
He clocked off for the next year.
Yeah, like, he's done with 20 whatever. Like, it's 2002. He's finished with this year.
He's refueling the sled.
Crawled from under the tree. Talking about, go back upstairs. The fuck is happening in the living room?
That night was brought to you by Straub Doppelbock.
Yeah, my mom went a little too high on the ABVs. If she had a couple dunkles, she could have got the exact buzz she needed to finish the wrapping. Instead, she wanted to go super craft and got a 10 and fucking fell asleep after she wrapped our pajamas. And I was just like, all right, we'll go back upstairs, but I'm just going to watch TV until a more appropriate hour. But we came back down, this shit was wrapped, and we acted like Santa Claus did it. So thanks, Bob.
Yo, I need another one. I finished this Groundhog Alt Beer.
Yeah, what did you? Okay,
the Groundhog Alt Beer, which apparently has an I in beer. I didn't know that was a thing, but it is really good. Crisp German ale.
Crisp German ale. I don't have the notes.
Read some deets about that. Oh,
Boom.
there it is.
Boom.
You got another one?
Yeah, that shit.
Or something else. I'll try something new.
Oh, okay. Alt beer. Okay, malt, German Pilsner, and Vienna, Munich, and black. Hops are German Magnum, which I'm always in support of Magnums, and Hallertau. Yeast, Straub, North American Lager, color, copper, alcohol, 5.4. So Straub, they don't want to get you too fucked up. Straub is a beer that you can maintain.
Keep it classy this Christmas.
Keep it classy, maintain. Like, you do need those in your life. You definitely need some maintenance beers, some beers that are just like, yeah, I want to still be drinking alcohol. You know what I mean? But I don't want to be getting fucked up. But I do like Straub.
So I got a Christmas story. One time, my mom decided that she was gonna ring like bells for the whole 20 minutes that she was like downstairs setting shit up for Christmas, and it woke me up. And so I stood at the top of the stairs, hearing these bells, terrified to go downstairs with Santa. So I was just standing there for like 15 minutes being like, there's no fucking way he's going to make it to every house if he spends 15 minutes
this
at my
much time.
house.
Like, think about how ridiculous the Santa story is and how silly you have to be to believe in that. So listen, I can't visit two relatives on a holiday. Like, I get caught up at a relative's crib. You mean to tell me he goes to every house in the neighborhood that has children?
That's just not being able to do math. That's just not being able to do math, though.
That is the most ridiculous.
He ain't hitting no gushy, like, at all. So
ain't nobody ever threw that thing at Santa?
You got access to every house on the planet.
Ain't nobody threw that thing at you?
No single mom.
Nobody had no hen nog on the, you know what I mean? Get your little shot of Hennessy with the eggnog. With a little come up to the room note. Nah.
He ain't hitting no.
Santa's a whore, and I know it. I know Santa's hitting buns in every time zone, and we all know this. Mrs. Claus know he be fucking around.
True.
But just that one night.
That one. That's his. What do they call it? A hall pass.
She sends Santa off like, listen, just make sure you don't bring none of that shit back to me. Santa be like, bitch, I know if she naughty or nice. I got intel.
I be knowing.
Fuck Santa breaking into my house, leaving shit.
He ain't
a
getting
little
no
bullshit knapsack.
gushy.
with your dumbass deer. Deer can't even fly. Why doesn't he roll with falcons or something?
That is
like
the
something cool.
craziest-
Santa should have a dragon. Like, why does he have these bullshit reindeer?
I think that they just, it's almost a smack in the face. I think that they just really wanted to see how far
They could take
it to get kids to believe. It's like, yo, let's see how far deer fly. And they'd be like, all right, yeah. And
I'm
one
cool
has
with
a
that.
blinking fucking nose, B. You're like,
He's
I
been
ain't
coked
never,
up.
But there's a
I ain't
song
about
never
it.
seen
There's a song about it.
I've never seen a blinking nose. I've never seen a reindeer fly. But I believe that there's one with a flying blinking reindeer motherfucker with this nigga that lives in ice.
I'm
And
30 years old. I don't know what a reindeer is. All right, like what is a reindeer? Is that the same thing that runs in front of my car on 76?
I think
don't
they're
know.
cousins. Like they got they got the same last name.
I don't know. Is Bambi a reindeer? What? How come Bambi's mom couldn't fly above them bullets? I don't understand. Help me. I got a 3-year-old. She's talking Santa shit to me, and I'm just like, you gonna need to know that daddy bought all this shit.
Yo, I've never pumped the Santa thing
I've
to my
not had
kid.
one Santa
I
conversation
never
with her.
believed in Santa, and like it was one of those things where I was like, there's no way this happens, right? I mean, like, and my mom was like, don't tell your sister.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell my sister until she was like 11, 12. She kind of figured it out. She was kind of old before she figured the fuck out. Because my mom was like heavy into like, but my kid, I've been having this conversation with my kid. She turns 10 next week. I've been having this conversation with my kid, like, there's no Santa, right?
That's
and
fucked
because
up.
her mom
just
really
fuck it
wants
up for
my
her.
mom her mom like wants her to believe it. So she's always like, yeah,
Let
there's a
her
Santa,
be a
there's a Santa.
kid.
But I'm like, like, nah, man. Like I'm getting like I asked her, what do you want for Christmas? I'm gonna get that. But like she just wants to believe. So we be having these back and forths. And
Because
I'm like,
all her friends believe that you can't fuck up Santa for her because then it fucks it up for somebody in
loved it
her
when I was a kid.
class. You know what I mean?
I loved it when I was a kid, knowing that there was, I mean,
I didn't give a fuck. Like, I don't think I ever fully invested in Santa. I think most kids don't fully invest in Santa. They invest in the holiday, but they know.
I don't want my kid to be susceptible to bullshit like that, where people
the toy has a barcode. Like Santa does, as far as we know, like Santa isn't selling shit. Like all his shit looks wooden in the videos. Like what? This fucking Power Wheel.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
Has a remote that I gotta go down to the street and get
Santa's got a
batteries.
partnership with Apple.
Okay. Santa got something. Santa's probably got a couple strip clubs and bars in Vegas that he's
A
invested
present
in.
could be a present, man. If it's under the tree, it's a present. How
All
many?
I'm
How many?
saying
You
is-
saying there's some titty
Not-
gift cards under
Not
there?
even that. Think about the
He try-
money Santa's made over the years. He hasn't invested in one bullshit thing like Michael Jordan invested in prisons. You don't think Santa has some bullshit
Remember,
investment?
pet rocks were a thing.
Santa's like
Pet
invested.
rocks.
Santa's invested in cool cigarettes. No, Santa invested in Newport cigarettes because they always got those bullshit billboards that are taking place in wintertime and people are sledding. It's like black people sledding, like, get a Newport. Like, why would I smoke before I sled? I don't understand the correlation. And why do I
Dropping off
have
cartons.
orange and green on? I'm grown as fuck and I know those colors don't match. This is bullshit. I'm sorry. We got on a super tangent.
Yeah.
About nothing. I think we just both wanted. I think we both want to tell our kids fuck Santa,
We've got gripes.
and we can't say it at home.
No,
So-
I actually, I don't know.
Fine, you can say it.
I can say it. Like I said,
My daughter's
it's
3.
my-
She gotta
man. I've been
believe.
trying to, and every year, but it's the thing. Like she's willful. Like no, there's
She's
a
mad at
Santa.
your daughter.
Yeah, she like no, there's a Santa. Hell yeah, there's a Santa. I'm
They
like,
mad at his kid. Like, what the fuck you mean Santa bought you? Santa don't shop at Target. Santa didn't go down to Sneaker Villa and buy those Nikes.
we really be going at it. I'm like, yo, remember this shit, B. I mean, that's what, cause I love my daughter to death, and I talk to her like my whole thing is
Except for Christmas time.
I
It's
talked
like,
to her.
You gonna keep saying Santa to me? I'm like, you really gonna say Santa bought this shit?
True. I talked to her like I talked to her like she's a real person.
You
And
have
I'm like,
to, though.
And I'm like, look, man, you gonna look back at this. Remember this, man. You gonna look back when
That's
everybody
so-
else.
I told you like it was.
I told you like it was from the gate.
She's
So when you figure
never
it
gonna
out,
appreciate
when you
that.
have that aha,
There's no
holla
aha.
at me.
There's no aha. There's no aha.
Holla at
You know
me.
why there's no aha? Because your daughter's going to be a mom, and all she's going to want to do is want her kids to love Santa Claus, and that makes no fucking sense.
So it's a thankless job.
It's a thankless.
That's what being a dad
But she won't
is,
fall for any bullshit pickup lines at the bar because,
Hell.
nigga, you lying. Everybody got the same story. My daddy taught me that.
True. That's chapter 3. She's going to get all the jewels. Oh, shit.
man. So-
Yeah, we've been on a tangent.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's what happens when people are on their third episode of the day. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I feel like you have such a positive podcast, and then you came on, and we're so ignorant.
Well, this is and I want to I want to make a concerted effort to say, hey, listen to the first part, listen to Aaron's podcast where we're there, and then listen to us.
We're really chopping up some shit.
It was like the first time we had ever done anything like that. We came in and we were like, kind of fitting everything in. It was like, all right, well, how about we do yours? We get that, and then you bounce, and then we get shit faced, and then we do ours, and see that progression between the three of us and how that interaction works. And I think that's a beautiful thing about podcasting in general is seeing how individuals progress and they stay consistent, based on different factors. Like our conversations, we had this conversation earlier. About how each episode for what we do is sometimes wildly different. Like if you tune into this episode versus say the Peduto episode versus say like the Barron episode, like they will be wildly different. But what is that common thread? You know what I mean? Like, so I think that if you listen to that first podcast and then listen to this one and see how that blends, you get a kind of.
Well, I think
snapshot.
we're definitely ourselves, and I think that's important to definitely be yourself.
And people also mess it up where like they get told you need to like niche down, be like super hyper specific so people can know what you're about. And it's like there's plenty of examples of people out there who, if they do it well, you just kind of trust them wherever they're gonna go. So today I'm talking to an entrepreneur, tomorrow I'm talking to a writer, tomorrow I'm talking to a craft brewery. That you trust that person because they come and consistently deliver.
Yeah, I mean, it takes time to build that up, though. Like I said, I mean, there's been times where we've had episodes where it's wildly like it's especially with comedians.
Yeah.
So if you come into the podcast like, oh, I heard this one with Rick Seaback,
and this is how it's gonna be.
This is how it's gonna be.
I might have had a bad fucking day.
True. And then you come in, like with a comedian or whatever, and you're like, wait, what was that word they used 13 times in 12 minutes? Like, it's
stay apologize.
but again, it's hard to get that trust. The people that trust the podcast are going to love, that progression and, the back and forth or whatever, but it takes time to kind of get to that. How have you dealt with that with your podcast?
I mean, I just brought the mentality. So when I started, I was like, oh shit, like I'm going to start this podcast and like, a year, I'm just gonna be like the podcast king. Everything's gonna be like.
We all thought we were gonna be the king.
Yeah, we definitely thought we was about to be on billboards downtowns on some skipping Shannon Sharp shit, just looking at each other with our arms folded.
Like Kid and Play.
Yeah, ain't how it go.
And I was lucky enough. It was like a business mentor of mine who he created some company. Like if what's the thing down at Disney World with like the fountains and Pixar and shit. Regardless, he created some sort of company that like built their light display, and it took him 17 years. And he was like, "I created it. I thought it was going to take 5 years."
Yeah.
And so the question he would ask me every single week when I saw him was like, "How long do you think it's going to take to be successful? How long do you think it's going to take?" And when you're starting something, it's so new, you're so excited, like, "Oh, it's going to happen in 2 fucking seconds," and that's not the truth. But that doesn't mean that it's not worth it. And that's really what he was driving home. Is like, once it happens, like he is, just some 50-year-old dude who wears sweatpants all the time and no one can fuck with him because he literally has fuck you money from selling that company.
Yeah.
And it's that same type of thing where you can have maybe not just fuck you money, but fuck you reputation, where I'm showing up and I'm Ed Bailey, I'm Aaron Watson, I'm Dave Bracey. I'm going to show up and perform.
Yeah.
And that is the capital. That is the reputation that I've worked and cultivated. And even if it took 5 years to create that, having that for the rest of your life is a different stratosphere for so many other people.
I think that's what I mean when I say exploit yourself. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, don't exploit yourself. Get you a fuck you reputation. Get you I know what I'm bringing to the table. But you can only do that for yourself. Like, I feel like anytime you're working for somebody, you can't do that because there's there are certain bounds to that employment. No matter how great you are at that job, there are certain.
Well, you're
bounds
adding
that
to
employment.
someone else's brand.
Exactly.
And again, when you look at what we're doing, we're all small businesses. So everything that you do, you're either doing for yourself or you're doing for somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, that just is what it is. And you try to cultivate relationships where it's mutually, like beneficial. But at the end of the day, that work that you're putting in is going somewhere. And with shit, I done lost my fucking train of
This is
thought.
gonna happen at some point during this podcast. This is the third one.
Yeah, I want to
So I was waiting for you to do it. Now I got free reign on losing thoughts. Oh, ain't no telling what opinions I'm gonna express from now on because I don't have to have an endpoint.
Yeah.
You've realized what you've opened. You've opened Pandora's box. I can say anything. Yo, matter of fact, fuck pandas. You know what I mean? Like, the fuck is a kung fu panda? Like, you don't even look athletic. You got these little ass legs. And you doing roundhouses. You teaching my daughter to roundhouse me?
No.
Fuck
You know what?
panda.
You know what? If I looked at, I actually fuck with pandas. I feel like pandas are like the Rick Seabacks of animals, man. Because they're so fucking lovable and adorable, and like they're in so many situations
Until they learn kung fu, and then they get on Pixar and
Would
they
you
beat
not
people
watch
up.
Rick Seaback do kung fu? Would that not like if you could see?
I wouldn't
I'm in.
understand
I'm
it
in.
though.
I'm in.
I'd want to
I'm
know
in.
why
I'm
he
in.
Even
wants
if it
to
was like
hurt
a
people.
CGI thing, and you
Why
saw
is
Rick
Rick
Seaback
Seaback
in a
hurting
CGI kung fu movie, I would fucking watch that shit, man.
Just something where he has like the two wires and he's elevated, like flying through a crowd, just dropping people.
I don't want Rick Seaback kicking people.
I would pay cash
I love
money.
Rick Seaback.
I would pay cash money to see Rick Seaback kick somebody in the chin.
I'd pay cash money to be in that crowd where he's coming at me.
It just you pay to get
at the-
kicked by Seaback. I don't believe it.
That's
First
a
of
business idea right there.
First
Kicks
of all,
my
I
seat.
believe getting kicked is the most disrespectful shit on earth.
No.
Getting kicked
Getting
is
spat
somewhere.
on. I would rather get kicked than to get spat on.
Yeah.
Okay,
You ever seen
I
someone?
agree from a physical standpoint, but
Yeah.
I will also say, here's the thing about getting kicked. All right, there was absolutely no scenario where getting kicked makes sense to a regular person.
Because you got
If we're just arguing
Yeah.
and you kick me, I'm confused as fuck.
how'd you get your foot up
If
that
we're
fast?
fighting fist to fist and you roundhouse me, I am also confused as fuck. And every time you kick me, that's an excuse for what happened to me. Because when I talk to my friends, here's what I'm gonna say: he was kicking motherfuckers. It's not even fighting.
I wasn't
fair.
expecting.
Like I'm like trying to throw these hands, and he got feet involved. This is why I don't do MMA.
Those are some of the craziest videos to watch. Is them knockout videos, or even when they're in the ring,
Oh, yeah.
when they fucking like the UFC and all that shit, when they are able to knock somebody out from like a spin knee to the face or a foot.
Oh,
'Cause it's
kneeing
like,
me is
you
another
never,
level of-
yeah, like
What?
when you knee
Like,
me
that's-
and
No,
how
but
did
when
you
they-
how did you get your knee to my face?
You're using your knee as a weapon, though. Like, if you are efficient enough to use your knee as a weapon, then you need to register that before the fight. I need to know. I need to know prior to the fight
They
that
need to
some
take
knees
inventory.
might be involved. Because when I'm fighting regular dude off the street, I'm just thinking hands. Anything below your nuts, I don't understand.
No, see, no,
So
I
your
think-
feet, your knees, I don't understand those things.
I don't know. I think that might be like a thing just with, because I know in Philly, you know what I mean, like motherfuckers in Philly, they like the box. And like people outside, but like in Pittsburgh, like, you know, and when you fight a Philly nigga, they be like, oh shit, you're cheating because you took it to the legs and shit like that. And it's like, yo, in Pittsburgh, we grew up, it was like anything is possible. And my mom is 5'2", 95 pounds, right? And she grew up on a farm, you know what I mean, Cherokee, like down North Carolina. And she's like, any fucking way to get them down by any means
Yeah, I'm not
necessary.
fighting
when
that
you
person.
that like
'Cause we're not
bite and
fighting for the
scratch
same
and every
reasons.
like, yo, she is
But you have
so
to identify yourself as that
like
type
the
of fighter.
Wolverine,
Because
yeah,
I'm
I
not
mean, like
fighting
the-
you if you're that committed. Because because you're fighting for survival.
Yeah.
I'm fighting because you disrespected me.
yeah,
And
and those are the
there's
two
levels
different
of-
exactly.
two different levels of anger.
And that's what, like, yeah, if you grew up on like
That
grew up
was
on
not
as
an
a
option
Wolverine
in my
mentality.
fight, you know what I mean? Like, you were willing to die for this fight. I just want to have a story for lunch tomorrow.
Try to
Like,
trade a couple shots and be out.
Yeah,
Like,
like,
yeah.
wait a minute. You got to let me know.
That's why I don't fight little motherfuckers and I don't fight gay people because little motherfuckers are like Wolverines, and when they fight, they are really fighting for their lives. Like, I mean, you mean they're gonna go with it. And gay folks, like,
It's like fighting a cat, man.
They've been fighting their whole
They
lives.
quick as shit.
You know what I mean? Like they've been fighting their whole lives. So like they got hands, my nigga. They got hands. And even if you do like happen to win, so the fuck what? What did you do? You know what I mean? Like it's a lose-lose situation, man. And 9 times out of 10, you're probably just gonna lose because that
you're not
motherfucker's
beating up
got
a gay
nails
person.
and he's got uppercuts and he's got spit.
you're not
He's the type of
beating up a gay
motherfucker
dude.
that will hit you with his knee in your face. Like,
Bro, you're not beating up a gay dude.
nah.
That motherfucker is serious.
Yeah.
Dead fucking serious.
He been scrapping, man.
My cousin, I'm definitely afraid of him. I fought my cousin for years, and then he came out, and I was like, I'm not fighting you anymore. Like, you just raised the bar that I'm not gonna be so angry that this can be a cross sexual preference fight. Like, that's a big thing. I only fight heterosexual men. Like,
That's
I don't
it.
fight
That's
any
it.
other
Yeah.
type of
And
person.
we gotta be in the same, you know what I mean? Like, you know, because fuck them Wolverines, man.
No, I'm not fighting the motherfucker that's fighting for their life.
But you ever seen the UFC fights where they'll do that move where they're like lined up and then they'll just kick the other guy's like front leg, like
Yeah,
right in the fucking
yeah.
shin, and then just
Dude.
look at him, and that's just like that's the equivalent of like taunting, like, yeah, I fucking kicked you in the shin.
I'll tell you something. I got a friend who got in a fight at the club, and he kicked the dude's shin to make the dude look down and punched him.
Yeah.
I said, I'll never fight you because you know shit that I never thought of. Because if you kick me in my shin, I'm always gonna look
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
I don't care what's
So
going on.
yeah.
What the
So
fuck?
my dad told me a story though. He grew up in Greenfield and he had to throw hands a couple times, and he said one time there were these guys following him, and there's it's like gonna be 2-on-5, and he realized that's the case, so he turns around and he just says, he walks up to them and goes, "What is that?" and like gets them to look down, and then it's time.
Yeah.
And that's something you have to have in your back pocket. That's not like your first fucking move.
Yeah, well, I've always been like the shortest dude in class. Like I said, when I was in 10th grade, I was 95 pounds,
Yeah.
like 5 foot. You know what I mean? And then I had this crazy growth spurt.
Yeah.
But like, all those little moves and shit. And like for me, it was always the neck. It doesn't matter how big of a motherfucker you is. You don't really be working your neck out like that.
Your
you know
neck's
what I
not
mean?
equipped for punishment.
Yeah, it's not. You know what I mean? So whether it was a
feel you.
choke out or just hit the Adam's
You
apple,
ain't
like
choking
that
nobody
was-
out at 5'2", 95 pounds.
Well, no, it's like you're like a monkey. You know what I mean? Like
You ain't
at that
choking
point, like
shit out.
you mean like having to climb shit? You just get them in, you get close, and then you just hold on for dear life to a neck. You know what I mean? And there's those little shits like that. Like when you, that's why, like I said, you fight these motherfuckers that you think that you got the easy win. It's like putting a rat in the corner.
Ain't no such thing
Them
as
mother-
an easy win. Some people are fighting for their lives.
Exactly.
I learned the punch and go from my cousin, actually. My cousin one day came home and told me like some dudes tried to surround him, so he punched one and took off. And I was like, damn, that's a fucked up story. And then like a year later, my friend had done he like tried to steal somebody's skateboard, and the little boy found it that he was trying to do it, and then he gave it back. And so one day, and this was at a CVS, and one day I'm just randomly, like weeks later, I'm coming out of the CVS, and the same little boy is like, yo, that's the dude who tried to steal my skateboard. So like his older brother and all these dudes is like coming up
Mistaken
on me. So I'm
identity.
like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So I just punched this one dude and just took the fuck
Hell
off.
yeah.
And I was the fastest kid in America
Yo,
at that point.
yeah.
You weren't finding
That's
me in
the
those
next level
cuts.
speed.
Like,
Yeah.
that's not so
Dip,
yeah.
yeah.
So here's another one. It's fucked up.
Dip game strong.
Yeah,
Drew.
You have to punch into the first, like you have to punch and go.
like
it has
a
to be one-
flash punch,
Yeah.
like while you're running.
Yeah.
Boop.
That right has to
In
connect,
stride.
and then that right foot lands, and then you're taking off because you're starting off at full. I ran faster than I ever had in my life.
In my elementary school, they had some sort of like fucked up Halloween fright night type of thing, and this is all like you're younger than like 5th grade. And before we were like moving from like classroom to classroom, and the teacher goes, "Yeah, have you heard about like the gorilla that got out of the zoo, and it's like been like they can't seem to capture it." Which in hindsight, like as an adult, you're like, that's a complete setup for like someone to fuck with you.
Why are the adults involved with this? That's my first.
Because they're
question.
like trying to scare the kids, like
That's
taking them from
fucked
place to place. That in and of itself was fucked up. But they had one of the teachers dress up in like a massive gorilla costume. And I was like sitting near the door, and I look out the window of the door, And there's just like, I don't know, it's a teacher. I just see some dude in a fucking gorilla costume looking back.
Yeah,
at me.
didn't that recently get somebody killed or
I
something?
was on the other side of the room.
Didn't that just happen?
In 2 fucking seconds. I'm not being caught. I'll be the last person killed by that gorilla. I'll throw other kids, teachers in the way if that's what it comes down to.
Self-preservation.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's cruel. I can't remember because I'm drunk, but I feel like that just happened recently and something bad happened to that person.
That's a bad
Like
idea.
somebody just was doing that gorilla costume shit. That shit's cruel.
Yeah.
That's cruel. I've never really tried to fuck with people just to be fucking with them.
Especially a little kid. Like we were talking about like
I would fuck with little kids though. Now that I think about it, like, yeah, I would love to. Yeah, let me erase everything I just said because you know what? I'm at some point gonna fuck with little kids because they'll get over it. You know what I mean? Like they're not developmental to the point that it's gonna scar them forever. Like
there's a certain level of scarring that I won't go past, but I'm okay with scarring. I'm okay with bruising. I mean, like even with my kid, like physically, I would allow for you to get fucked up if I felt like, would teach a lesson, like you wouldn't do it again. Not so much as you're going to die or be maimed or whatever, but if you're doing some dumb shit, and I've told you a few times, then yeah, you might get fucked up. And saying even emotional shit like that, it's like, I think that because if you are too authoritarian and you're too protective, then you have these snowflakes that don't know shit.
Yeah.
You need to know adversity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I'm okay with you seeing some adversity if I know that you're going to learn a lesson and, be stronger as a result of it. So yeah, I'm all about fucking with kids to a level.
I'm trying to think of
little scar tissue.
That's one of those statements that I agree with, but I gotta figure out what level of agreement I'm at on that because you know what? I might let my daughter get fucked up doing something like if you're jumping off the bed and I'm like, your balance is fucked up. I'm gonna tell you like, yo, you probably shouldn't jump off the bed.
Shouldn't.
Now, if you bust your head on your toy. Are you bleeding? No, you Gucci. And it was fucked up about me as a parent is I don't have a lot of emotions. Like I don't have a large range of emotions. I'm either cool, chilling, I'm extremely happy something really cool happened, or I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
But if I'm not extremely happy or pissed off, then I'm more or less like whatever. I can't teach my daughter that range of emotion. So if she's hurt, I'm generally like, and I love my daughter, I'm generally looking at her like, but I said don't, like, I feel you, but I was telling you, like, that was going to happen, and you just didn't want to listen.
That shit is tough, man.
So now you crying, come here, but you got to get it together, man. Like,
yeah, like, I don't have that. I'm the same way. Like, I don't have that, like mommies will be like, oh, and they'll go into the.
They'll come grab you
they'll
up.
grab it and do the nurture.
Do a tumble tuck roll. Just hit you with this wild embrace. And I'm giving my daughter dap and rubbing her on the top of the head like, you tough, all right?
Yeah.
You good?
Go and walk that off.
You
yeah,
straight?
Yeah.
You good.
But they feed off of that because as soon as like they'll fall and then they'll look up at you.
They look for the reaction.
And if you're like, oh fuck, then they're like, oh fuck.
Exactly.
But if you're just like, you're fine, and they're like, oh, I'm fine. And
yo, my niece was sitting on the couch and like I'm playing Grand Theft Auto. This is like fucking like 8 years ago, and she's like 3 years old. She's sitting on the couch and like she like falls over and hits her head, and like boop. I'm like, oh shit! I look over and she looks up at me like, and I was like, and she was like, all right, and then she just got back up and got on the couch like. Yeah.
What? Can I please? What? Can I please tell y'all a story that I may have told on the podcast like 100 episodes ago? This is a true fucking story. That whole whatever doesn't apply to adults for me. Like if an adult hurts themselves, I'm way confused. I'm like, holy shit, how are you gonna get through this? So one time I'm chilling with a friend of mine who will remain nameless. We're chilling. He brings a lady friend over. We're chilling. We're drinking. Cool. We don't know that this girl suffers from, I don't know if she suffers from narcolepsy or what the fuck, but she's prone to just fall asleep. So we're chilling. This girl passes out like standing up, falls and hits her head on the TV stand and is just out on the floor, right? So we're both like, like this isn't my lady friend though. So I'm just here. His lady friend has come over. I'm chilling with them and I'm just sitting looking at him like, yo, fam, like what's up with your girl? And he's looking at me like, what the fuck just happened? And she wakes up like nothing happened. And I'm just like, should we say something? Like, did we have to explain why she was on the floor? So she gets up and she's like, okay. And then she says her head hurts. And I'm just like, listen, I gotta tell you, like, you just fucking passed out and bust your head on that fucking TV stand. Are you okay? I need to know. I've been sitting here with this weird ass face for 10 minutes. Please tell me you're all right. What's going on? She's like, yeah, that happens. And I'm like, you gotta sell that to me before you come over. Like, I need to know that you might pass out.
Wait, when she said that happens, as if like yeah, you're right. If that happens,
No, she said that happens.
Yeah,
she
that's what
fell
I'm saying.
out, bust her head, and me and my mans are just sitting there
that
like.
tends to happen sometimes.
Because
Like,
when that happens and you don't know what the fuck just happened.
Yo.
All you really saw was a person fall and hear a thud. That's all that happened. I was like, holy shit.
yo, I had a chick fall into my wall, and like there was a head hole, and she passed out. Like she was drunk.
Was her
She
head in the hole?
And the head was like her head was like not in the hole, but like right next to it. Like we have a picture of her right next to, like she hit the hole and then fell, and there's her head next to the hole. Like you very clearly knew that was what happened. And I was like
hit and slid.
yeah, like boop, and then just fell, and it was right, and we like. And well, I mean, clearly we're terrible people because instead of helping her up, we took a picture.
Bro, we just sat there. Like the girl walked out of the kitchen into the living room. She passed out, bust her head, and I didn't move from my cushion of the couch because I knew at that point there's nothing I could do for you. I don't know any of these things that will help you survive.
And this was like shortly after camera phones really became like a
You had a flip phone camera.
And it
you
was
hit
color.
the little button on the side,
Yeah.
and it perked up, and then you snapped it. The shit was all grainy.
Had to flip it up, and it was color. And I was like, oh, throw that on MySpace.
You had that gray Nextel, the Nextel 870 that came out after the
gray
race
one.
car joints.
Yeah,
That's what you had.
The Sprint dip.
And she was just passed out. Were her hands on the wall? I need to visualize.
Because she was like, it was her hands were like all the way like slumped down. Like yeah,
Why
I mean,
did she fall into the wall?
Because it was there. She was gonna fall somewhere.
Oh, she was fucked up.
The
and
wall,
fell?
yeah, she was completely fucked up.
she
Yeah, I
did that
mean,
to
like,
herself.
I mean, what we do, we've been kind of doing it for a while, getting people fucked up and watching their reactions.
Nah, the girl who fell in my story, I don't know what happened to her. She has an issue. She has a condition that we were not aware of, and we just watched it take
Wait,
place.
it wasn't drunk. She was narcoleptic.
No, she just passed out for no reason.
Oh, she was like a narcoleptic.
Yeah,
See,
she
for the
just-
people listening at home, I
and
had
hit
to
a
break the
glass.
seal, so I'm coming back into this story.
It was a glass TV stand. Though.
Wow. Yeah, if you got to let people know. Like sometimes I drop randomly.
It's
in
cool
places.
to laugh about now because she's still
'Cause
alive.
I'll get you a seat.
But you ever been a third wheel? So I was third wheeling it. And so I already was a little uncomfortable being there.
Yeah.
And then that happened. And I was like, that's a you and him thing. Like,
Yeah,
I should have never seen this. That's a strange thing to happen.
Because if that's not happening, I might clown you relentlessly.
Well, now I'm talking about it on the podcast.
And-
Like,
and
I'm
your mind-
technically clowning you because I don't know if you're a listener or not. If you are a
we
listener,
ain't say
and
no
you know,
names. It's
yeah,
all
but if
good,
she's
I think.
listening, she knows I was there.
And she knows she was there too.
Yeah, she knew
Like-
it happened. It's all true. You saw my face when you woke up.
It's okay. Come to our next show at Compton Theater,
Just-
January 28th, and get a free beer,
Just
man.
sit in the back. Dude. All the chairs are cushioned.
The plugs, man. This 1872 is delicious.
Also by Straub.
Yeah,
also
it just-
by Straub,
It
man.
just disappeared.
Yeah, like
Oh,
it is.
you had that
it is.
too.
It's another lager, and what I'm learning, like I'm falling in love again with lagers because there aren't a lot of people that do lagers. Like a lot of the
Straub
smaller
sounds
breweries.
like a lager name too. Like it can't be anything but a lager.
Yeah, like the smaller breweries, they don't, you know what I mean, they're usually ales. They got the Belgians and the Reds and the IPAs and, you know, stouts and porters or whatever. But this lager, like, it's very complex. And it's drinkable. It's lighter. You know what I mean? It's 5.4. Yeah, 5.4.
Here's what Straub is doing. If you haven't gotten the gist, Straub is saying, look, you're going to have a night.
Mhm.
At some point in that night, you're going to reach a point where you say you don't want to drink anymore, but you're going to want to continue to drink. And that's where Straub comes
And you
in.
want to drink. And
We're
you wanna
feeding the habit.
prove you want.
We're
and
getting you more fucked up. I'm more fucked up than I was before the Straub showed up, and I didn't want that to happen.
Yo,
but
and
I look
it's
around and I
delicious.
got mad Straubs, and you just don't
There
stop.
are a lot of
'cause
bottles
it's
on
so
this table.
subtle.
Yeah,
They have
didn't
the
realize.
flavor and the subtlety. The flavor does not include the alcohol like content. Like a lot of crafts that I've learned, the higher content or the you can taste that you're getting more.
Yeah,
drunk.
you can
get into
feel
these
it, yeah.
fives. They either taste like, oh, there's no alcohol,
Mm.
or all of a sudden you're like, you know what, that 5 matters.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
I've been acting like that 5 don't matter. That 5.4, that 5.5. It's only so many that my body can like.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
fucked
I
up.
look
Are
at
we
it.
slurring?
I look at it like an indica versus a sativa.
We
right?
are
I mean,
slurring.
We are. Oh, it's third.
It's
Oh,
the
we've been-
third episode.
The third episode.
And my bottom jaw is no longer functional.
And if
Pause.
you look at indicas versus sativas, indicas give you that slouch. You feel that heavily on the body, and the sativas are more of a working type of a thing. So like with this brew, like again, this is a type of brew that you can drink, you can get that flavor of it, enjoy the craft that goes into it, but also not get completely shit-faced too early, as a result of that. And that's
Yeah,
the beauty of it. It's
I'm
like I want to have a good night. I want to be responsible, but I don't want to drink flavorless bullshit like Coors Light. You know what I mean? Like, because Coors Light is the dog donkey piss of beer.
But if they wanted to give us money,
If they wanted to give us money, I really I could.
I could take the money.
I can't.
Let me
I'm
do all the
100.
Coors Light talk.
You could do all of them.
I'd fake
and I will
climb an ice
grimace.
mountain.
I will grimace and groan and go, I don't know about that.
I'll
one,
fake
because I
climb an
can't.
ice mountain like Ice Cube did in the fucking commercial.
Yo, fuck their cans.
Yo, I'm bringing you
If
one
it-
beer for
if
this
you-
party. Like that's a stupid ass
If
commercial.
you're fucking spending more time on your cans than you are on your fucking product, go fuck yourselves. I can't support you, man. Like, fuck your can. Like, I know what it's cold.
Fuck it can. Hashtag.
I know what it's cold.
Fuck
Y'all
about
need
you.
nigga got a fridge for that. And hands. Like,
Yeah, but those are. I guess that's for a person who bought a beer at 5:30. He's going out that night and he needs to drink 7 beers by 7 o'clock. Which beer is cold first?
when you got to drink 7 beers just to drive home. You fuck. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I don't.
You're
like
gonna have to
Coors
continue
Light.
this interview while I break the seal.
Yeah. So
Let's
yeah,
listen
shout out.
to Dave's question. I just want to hear his question before I go because he's fucked up.
Now I'm on the gun. Where do you get your flannels?
Wait, but what was funny about that was he asked that like he had found the key to moving the interview forward. Like this is the question
really gonna
that's
go
going to
somewhere.
advance the interview. Where do you get
but-
your flannels? There's a whole fucking American Eagle on that shirt
yeah,
to let you know where that flannel comes
I think I've
from.
had this for like 6 years.
Yeah.
I also
no.
have that flannel, but in a blue and white.
I'm
I
pretty
wore-
sure I got that from a thrift
Yeah.
store.
Yeah, I
too,
wore that at
myself.
our 100th episode.
We could all wear it, have a sick picture of flannels.
But so getting into the podcast and where you're at, where do you see again the future of, I guess, podcasting in this area? Let's get specific, like, because you look at Pittsburgh and we do face a different market and different hurdles than you do in other cities. And given the growth of the city and everything that's going on, where do you see not only your podcast but the industry in general as it relates to Pittsburgh moving forward?
I just think that the way that media is moving, it's going to just continue to be fragmented and it's going to continue to be moving towards on demand. And if you're not on demand with whatever you're doing, you are way behind the 8 ball. And that is like what the show that I create, same as the show you create, is not right for every single person. Some people are going to be offended, some people are going to be bored, but there is a distinct group of people who want that. And in a city of 400,000 people, throw in that, I mean, like, I'm getting downloads from all over the country. I'm sure you guys are as well. Like, that is going to feed off of itself.
We got 5 downloads in France. Yeah, we closer to 1,000 now, but still, we at least got 5.
Yeah.
Shit. First time they told me, they was like, somebody downloaded in France. Like, I mean, clearly they just want to learn the language, but I don't give a fuck. They know my voice. Like, I might bump into a French chick, and she's like, "Ooh la la de Bracy? Merci de Bracy? I don't know any French, but
that's the reason.
Chez Ale Bracy? Like,
Menage a Bracy.
yeah. Please hit me with a Menage a Bracy.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's the reason the Steelers fans show up everywhere is because there's Pittsburghers all over the country, and they got displaced for a while, and they're still interested in what's going on here. So if we're talking about the Pittsburgh comedy scene, or we're talking about the Pittsburgh entrepreneurial scene, that is going to resonate with people, not just in the city. And that's the same deal with like people being interested in what's going on in Silicon Valley. Like that's super interesting because like fucking cool stuff is happening there. They have a market outside of that just because you're no longer regionally limited. That's kind of what happened to newspapers is you have the Pittsburgh Trib, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, you got your local newspaper, and all those companies are struggling because people no longer are interested in the narrative exclusively based around their location. So you can be regionally relevant while still being interesting to people across the country and across the land.
You connect the dots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people that we work with are, regionally based, but those common themes, like you said, Silicon Valley, those keys to success, they work at Silicon Valley. Granted, there are different wrinkles that you might need to deal with in that market, but it's a global economy. So the content that we have and the people that are doing what we do, there are, parallels.
And I talk to guys who work at radio stations here in Pittsburgh, and they're like, I had been doing the podcast for a year, and I'm talking to them about what I'm doing. They're like, yeah, it seems like podcasts are really catching on. And it's like, yo, they're catching on. Like, it is the future. The fact that you work at a radio station, you don't realize that is ridiculous. Like, we're gonna come and eat your cookies.
Yeah, and I think that you're starting to see that like rub of like because the radio you're starting to encringe because
Radio shows are podcasts now.
Yeah, I mean, you have radio shows, but like a radio show is kind of limited. Like, granted, you could put it online or whatever, but a large part of their demographic aren't really going online trying to hear it at random times. They are just doing it for the morning commute. And when you start taking away people's, the radio's morning commute, now you're like, now you're taking away from them. And I feel like looking at it, it's like, when podcasting was, more of in its infancy, it wasn't so much of a threat. Yeah, cool. And still, I mean, the numbers are still wildly in the favor of radio because it is a medium that has been, established for fucking 100 years?
Yeah.
But like if you look, when we moved from radio to TV, the biggest radio shows did not become the biggest TV shows. And it's because they tried to do radio on TV.
Yeah.
And the same way here, like people who are trying to do a radio show on a podcast, that is really not the essence of the medium. And having a super unstructured, long form piece of content is not really what that medium is built for. So we have the advantage by being practitioners in the space from the jump, as opposed to trying to like change and twist what we're doing to fit this new media.
Well, I think that's the difference between being a podcast and being a production that has a podcast. So I'll say, for example, I don't watch First Take, right? I used to watch First Take clips, but now First Take releases its content as a podcast. Now, as a podcast, you're just like, what the fuck? But you understand that is a TV show that is being released as a podcast.
Yeah.
So what happens with any industry, I believe, is the larger players or the competitors who are larger players start to kind of filter into the burgeoning industry. So television shows, like, for example, I watch Walking Dead, right?
Yeah.
So what do? They put out a more or less visual podcast after the Walking Dead episode called Talking Dead. That's just a podcast for Walking Dead lovers that they put on TV, but they probably also have it on iTunes somewhere. Because as a TV show, it sucks. As a podcast, it's dope. But somebody was like, well, let me make some TV money too.
Yeah.
Like, I got this
10:30
10:30 slot that I can fill. Let's make some TV money. But all it is a fucking podcast.
Yeah. And there's nothing as passive that you can control as a podcast. Like, even if you're listening to radio, like, you step out of your car, you can't keep listening to it, you can't press pause and pick it up later. And being built for that type of platform, like, that is all that the millennials and the really tech savvy folks want. They want on demand, their control. And if you play with them in that arena, there's no reason you can't succeed if you're consistent.
We
want
to decide what we're listening to and when we want to listen to it.
Yeah.
So once you can identify yourself as a certain type of thing, or if you can find that voice or that thread, then people will find you and they'll find the time to listen to you. I'm sure people listen to Drinking Partners at different times of day, at different
there's
points.
so many different type of consumers. I mean, some people listen week to week. Some people binge. Some people they only listen to certain ones that if it's an interesting guest.
Right.
I mean, there's so many different ways to consume and because of what it is.
You got to be open to that.
Can I hit you guys with some things that I've got some gripes. I've got some fucking gripes right now.
Nice.
Go
nice.
ahead.
Hey, let's
We
go.
like gripes.
These are all the things that millennials have been blamed for killing in 2016.
Let's go.
Hotels.
Hotels?
Can we just open the Ace?
Wait.
That's a millennial hotel.
We killed hotels? What? I love
Oh, because of Airbnb.
Airbnb,
Which
ready?
is better.
Oh, it is better.
Why would you fuck in a hotel when you can
There you
fuck
go.
somebody
There you
else's
go.
mattress?
Ready?
Well, I mean, exactly.
That's what.
but
that's what Airbnb is, right?
fuck.
Am I going about this wrong? I can fuck in a bedroom, or I can fuck in a hotel room.
Yeah, I got a whole ass.
bedroom.
I got a whole ass.
All
place,
your
you know what I mean?
furniture and
Get better
family
if you're a
pictures
hotel.
are turned down. No, I'm
True.
fucking on this.
I mean, but that's the thing is that you can still have a hotel because people are gonna have that for that.
But you go to a hotel, it's like it's so many more users of that mattress at a hotel. Like, I can lie to myself and be like, there have been 12 Airbnbers and I'm one of 3 to have sex, or I'm having sex in a bedroom. Like,
Yeah.
I could fuck on your couch. I had this thing in college where I fucked on my friend's furniture for a while. It's weird.
It
Probably
happens,
not
man.
listening.
I understand.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, the thing is, at a hotel, you're talking about killing a hotel, there's always gonna be a situation where that hotel is available. You've had that space and you make it cheap enough, somebody's gonna buy that fucking room. So even Airbnb, I feel takes more forethought, because you have to there's this whole back and forth, and you got to build a rating.
Oh,
and
they
this, that,
start
and the
acting
other.
like they don't want certain people. in
Yeah,
there.
certain people. Yeah, so there's that. But with a hotel, it's I got $50 and this shit
I'm
is
here
a
to
bit.
fuck on your furniture. You concerned with who coming in and out of the room? I'm finna fuck on this little island kitchen you offering. I'm gonna fuck in that chair. I'm gonna fuck on that rug in front of that fireplace. I'm not using your cable. I'm fucking on your sheets. You asking the wrong questions.
Nigga,
All
bring
you
the
need to know
Clorox.
is, am I bringing a woman or not? If I say yes, I'm fucking on
Nigga,
your
nah.
furniture.
If you open your Airbnb, you better know the best way to get cum out of whatever the fuck you have in there. That's just it. And
burn them
I think,
sheets.
yeah, yo,
I'm coming on
adjust your
everything.
price to afford the Cloroxes you're gonna have to buy. That's it. And I'll pay for it. I'll pay an extra $30.
I'll play a little cum
night.
deposit.
$30 worth of clothes.
A little cum deposit.
doing?
Coming, dog.
Exactly.
When you're in the Airbnb, that opens so many different fuck channels.
true.
You understand? You understand the fuck channels that go into an Airbnb?
having, like, a parade?
We can fuck after.
You know the rolls?
We can fuck
get
after
into?
breakfast. We can fuck before we head out for the
gonna
day.
have to be-
We fuck when we get
You're
back.
gonna have to be
We
hydrating
can
like
fuck
some
while we're
crazy.
watching television. There's so many more times you fuck in a crib than in a hotel. If I'm at a crib and it's a house, we're gonna fuck before we decide to go out and do the things we had planned for the day. We're gonna come back, make some food, and we're gonna fuck for lunch.
Yeah.
We're gonna do all this fucking on your furniture.
There's gonna be a lot of shit.
It's going
happening.
down, fam.
And I'm okay.
And I'm pooping in your bathroom. Straight raw.
All right, I got more.
Shout out to Airbnb.
Napkins.
Wait,
Napkins.
what? I love what do you mean? We ruined that?
Paper towels instead of napkins. Like, people just snag one paper
no,
towel.
I love paper towels.
Who the fuck goes to the
no, I
grocery
do.
store and buys napkins?
Yeah, what the fuck is a
Exactly.
napkin? Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a
I'm gonna buy a
paper-
half a paper towel.
But, no. Listen, we didn't ruin that. What they did was they made the paper towel business a napkin business when they boiled down to the single sheets, right?
Yep.
Because it stopped being just a cleanly thing, and it became
Yeah,
a wipe
Bounty
your hand
killed
thing.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Half
because instead
sheets
of
of
having
paper
like a
towel.
full ass utility sheet of paper towel that was
You know
super
what
absorbent,
killed
you
napkins?
were wasting that shit. Now you get the single serve.
Yeah.
That's what
You know what killed napkins? when you went to the pizza shop and they had this trifold napkin, but it didn't hold shit.
Yeah.
Like everything went straight through the napkin.
The whole thing.
When they started making napkins out of paper mache. That's what killed napkins.
You had to use 8 of them.
Yeah, like
for a single slice of
hard
pizza.
ass napkins. I'm not fucking. I got
You
bounty
fucked
in
yourselves.
Yeah, like,
Again, same thing with the hotels. Expand your fucking brand, my nigga.
And these are the fucking sources it's coming from: Wall Street Journal, Business Insider, New York Post. With this type
who
of
the fuck cares about napkins?
Stay relevant.
Who's the
Stay
big
relevant.
napkin producer?
all right,
Y'all don't got paper towels?
Couple
This
more.
Scots nigga. Them Scots motherfuckers
Get some
complaining.
paper towels.
about
cereal, wine, and movies.
Cereal,
Fuck outta
wine,
here.
and
I
movies.
eat cereal all the fucking time.
Shout out to Does This Hold Up? Because Does This Hold Up actually takes those fucking movies that you did back when we were kids and we gave you all of our money because we begged our parents to go see these movies. And then you grow up and you be like, this was terrible. We didn't ruin movies. You motherfuckers ruined movies.
There's a movie coming out all the fucking time.
Dude,
I watch it. I just don't go to Lowe's to watch
it's
it.
everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
There's
That's
so
exactly
much
it.
shit. Like, I'll
$9?
Netflix it. Yeah.
You better sell some advertising space in your movie and get some brand placement and stop worrying about where the fuck I'm putting my ticket money down. I got the hiccups because I'm drunk, but fuck, we didn't kill movies. We just make movies ourselves.
We didn't want to watch your shitty movies. Go fuck
And-
yourself. Fuck
and
Hollywood.
motherfuckers will
Independent.
love cereal to the end of time.
True, and again, even local and independent films, man, like that supporting the shit that you wouldn't be able to see unless it was backed up by Warner Brothers and all this other bullshit. You have these film festivals and you have these niche that like people are able to see shit. They're able to put their shit out, and you ain't got to go through the big fucking motherfuckers. So.
YouTube.
The absolute best rule I've ever heard is a movie that never got focus grouped is definitely going to be the best movie you watch. Like
That
if
makes
they were throwing this in front of people, like, what do you
Raw.
think? What do
Yeah,
you think of
yeah.
her hair? What do you
How
think
do
of
we
her
make
like
this fucking
This is
tofu
authentic
and
of a
bland?
movie as you'll ever see.
Yeah, how do we make this chicken?
We really want it to be
How
broad.
the fuck did we kill wine? I didn't even know wine existed till I started fucking with chicks who just graduated from college. Like my mom never drank wine growing up. Like,
but it's all that's
outside
like an
of
all
White
marketing thing.
Zinfandel, I didn't know what the fuck a wine was.
They do those tests where like they have the master wine person taste like these 3 different wines.
Yo, I
And he's
worked
like,
in-
I love this one, and this one was like $7.
master wine people
I-
where I'm from. Like they like Merlot and Moscato. Like that's what they do.
Yeah, I worked in the wine industry or whatever, and like there are a lot of very different flavors and whatnot or whatever. But like
Without
some of that
question.
is kind of bullshit. Like when you go to your regular like Bravo or your chain restaurant that has they're just hiring folks, they're not really paying them well, and they're feeding you this expensive wine or whatever, and they're telling you all this bullshit. And they don't know what the hell
It's
they're
got
talking
that
about.
like
They don't give a
fake
fuck about.
Italian. Like this used to be like Italian room.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's
this is
plaster
about
Claris.
that.
I can see that.
Yeah.
stuff.
Nobody listen. As long as Scandal is still putting out new episodes, motherfuckers will be drinking wine.
Yeah, I mean, wine is gonna
Like,
sell itself. Like,
Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, like they drinking wine when they watching that. So,
All right.
fuck out of here.
Golf.
Yeah, fuck golf.
I've never really played golf. I can't. Nah.
So
I'm not walking every fucking where.
It's a lot.
so I went golfing over Thanksgiving
I
with
hear
like
it's fun.
my like uncles and shit because that's their thing. And there's guys, they have the self-driving or like automatic driving cart. So it's
It takes the fun out of even the car.
No. I'm not talking. I'm not talking about somewhere you have like your hands on the wheel.
Oh,
No,
it's like
no.
a DD.
I'm not talking about you driving.
It's
You're
like-
you're walking, and then there's 2 wheels on your like club bag,
Mm.
and the
it
bag
follows
is just fucking moving and
Oh, it's
following it.
what is it? The
It's
bagger
on
van.
The bag's on a Segway.
It's
I don't
the
wanna
it's,
say
it's, it's the
that.
automated bagger vans. They replaced bagger vans with
a little
cart.
robot. Yeah.
Oh shit!
They're
Like you know
taking
how
the
like at
jobs.
McDonald's they're trying to switch that shit over. But see, here's the thing, right? Your cart ain't whispering in your ear. See what I'm saying? Like that's wild. See?
Golf was killed by millennials because we found out that you can work from home regularly and then you don't need an escape from the office.
and also
That's how it was killed by millennials. So we could play video games and work. Fuck golf.
Truth.
Fuck about
This
it.
has been a good
You gonna play
episode.
18 holes of what? Of me swinging at something and me being like, I'm a better golfer than you. So motherfucking what? You ain't got these hands, bro.
Hey,
And no golfer knows how to kick. So I ain't worried about
see me in Wii Home Run Derby, my nigga. You ain't got the juice.
You can't see me in 2K. So fuck your little golf game. You and your 2 handicap. I don't care. You're either a PGA golfer or you just another dude who plays golf. I don't give a fuck. I've gone golfing with some uppity golfers, and it's just like, bruh, none of y'all motherfuckers is gonna make any money off this. We just out here drinking.
You're gonna spend money. You're gonna spend
we
a
just
lot
out
of money.
here drinking. Like, I went golfing in some KDs. I didn't even have golf shoes. Hey, I didn't give a fuck. I had on shorts, KDs. I had on a fitted. I'm like, why y'all getting all dressed up to play golf? It's just us. We're just in a group of people amongst ourselves. There's another group that's like over there, but who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Like, fuck golf. All these dumbass rules and like you gotta do this and fuck y'all. I mean, what purpose is this? We're hitting this little white spherical ball into 18 holes.
Well, there's this one now. A friend of mine had introduced me to some shit, and I want to try to get into it. It's like golf, but there's like different, like I guess like a different beer, different beer on each like thing or some shit like that, and you go with people that don't know what the fuck they're doing, and that you're matched with, and it's kind of just like you're out, like it's like a summer day, and you're just out. And
that's all golf is.
I think that's
grass
called a hike.
out on a
That's
summer
called a
day
hike.
doing shit.
Yeah,
like a hike.
yeah, but I mean, I like to do shit while I'm drinking and whatever.
But you
it's
can
something
do
different.
other shit than play golf.
Well, it's super cheap,
Like,
but
fuck golf.
it's super cheap. And
Golf
it's like,
ain't
fuck,
cheap.
it's different. I like different shit. If it's cheap enough, like I ain't gotta like break the bank, and I can drink and have some
I'm not
fun with different
saying-
people. I fucks with it.
They were telling me about some
know.
country club, and they were saying it's $5,000 to get in,
Oh fuck.
and then $500 a month,
Yeah.
and that is the cheaper one.
Show me a
because
thrift
there's
store.
this whole classism.
That's
with
all
golf.
it is. That's
Fuck that.
literally all it is how can we keep
Fuck all this
everybody?
class-
Oh
Classism
yeah,
in
out.
golf.
Yeah, oh yeah. Let's hobnob. With
I don't
each
have
other.
any
Let's circle
clubs.
jerk over money.
I'm using my
Eat a
man's
dick.
clubs, and he trying
Eat
to
all the
act like he
dicks.
thinking about using the wedge. Like,
Ramen
you ain't
gang.
finna use the wedge on this shot. Like, quit acting like I'm handicapping you with the club choice. Nigga, only one person can swing at a time. Like, it doesn't matter what club. Like, fuck
Like,
golf.
oh, you don't have a color on your shirt? We're
Yeah,
gonna have to
man.
ask you.
Ramen gang or die. Shout out to Oriental Ramen. Yeah, I mean that's a
I
throwback
don't
to
even know
101.
what you're talking about.
I'm talking about all this rich shit. I mean, fuck that.
Fuck golf.
Ramen gang.
You ain't
yeah,
your craft brew
ramen
golfer.
gang. I mean, we ain't $5,000 holes. Fuck that shit.
So wait, before we go, you play frisbee golf.
Not frisbee golf. I get that all
Ultimate
the time,
frisbee?
and I get fucking pissed off.
But
7-on-7 field sport, ultimate frisbee.
Ultimate frisbee
You
is
play
intense.
okay, that's
well,
not
hold
what I
up,
was
hold up,
told.
hold up, hold up.
So
Where
I
you
was
play at?
told
Where you
frisbee.
play
I was
at?
told, oh, you played at
Two-time national
Shinley Golf
champion.
Where do you-
frisbee game.
where you play at?
Two-time national champion.
I'm not
Really?
trying to.
Where
Yeah,
you
Bullshit.
play at?
University of Pittsburgh.
Yo, my boy Clark used to play like that shit heavy. Like that's a crazy ass game, man.
I got my hand up. I just want to say, look, I'm gonna preface this by saying, cool,
Yeah,
fucks with that
yeah,
sport,
yeah.
but fuck y'all for taking the cathedral lawn when niggas trying to play football, man. Like I'm trying to play actual football,
Yeah.
and I'm watching these
There's
You know
three
what?
lawns. There's
frisbee
three lawns.
dudes.
That
There's
used to
three
be.
lawns.
That's what happened. Like we would try to like go
Play
down there,
football on
and
the
they would be
lawn.
playing that ultimate
They
frisbee.
play
I'm
the
like,
I don't know how to spin that shit right.
We'll teach you.
But it
We'll
is
teach you.
fun. It is a fun game.
Everything's a Hail Mary. Like everything's downfield, and that's fun.
Yo, they
but
played
how
a-
do you do that?
They played on Lambeau Field this afternoon. They
Oh,
played
really?
on Lambeau
Really?
Field during the Green Bay Packers game.
Wow, that's getting big.
I had never seen Ultimate Frisbee till I got to Pitt, and I was just like, "Oh,
Yeah.
well, this
It
makes
looks
more
fun,
sense
though,
than
man. I
me
ain't
throwing a frisbee to my sister across the driveway.
Yeah.
Like that's stupid."
I played it like once or twice, and it's super fun. Like it's just one of those things that you really gotta like
I got
make
picked
time for.
I
I
got
mean,
picked first a lot, but I didn't.
Don't you hate that shit when people just expect you?
They
You
just
be
wanted
like,
me to go long,
bruh.
and I'm like, I don't understand where the frisbee's gonna go. It looks like it's coming, then it gets caught up in the wind.
yeah, it
I don't know
goes
how to
left.
slow down. Nobody has jerseys. We're just all out here in regular
You don't know
clothes.
how to like gauge the grass.
What do I
to
do when
fi-
I catch the frisbee halfway to the touchdown? What do I do? Do I run with it? I don't understand. Do
can't
you run with it?
You can't run with
So
it.
I
You
just
pick
gotta
it up.
frisbee
It's
it?
like you pick up your dribble and you can only pivot.
Yeah, I was a red zone. I was a red zone receiver. I can only catch for the points.
that's fine.
Other than that, I was
That's
worthless.
Mm.
Because if I had to distribute the frisbee, we're throwing a screen.
Yep.
Throwing a fucking screen cap.
True.
So what league are you in that? Like, what's the
last 2 years, the Pittsburgh Thunderbirds have played in the American Ultimate Disc League. We've been in the Midwest Division, and I captained the team the last 2 years.
Duck,
Nice.
dive, dip, duck,
Dive and dodge.
Is that a thing?
That's dodgeball.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was just saying.
Before
there's
that,
probably a
before
drunk
that, we
dude in
just
a
played like the
wheelchair
college
that's champion of
division,
this
and
league.
Pitt won in 2012 and 2013. We won the national championship.
something crazy,
Beat
man.
Central Florida and
You
Wisconsin.
never know who the hell you're talking
What are
to,
the
man.
barriers of
It's
entry?
insane.
A $8 disc.
Okay, but okay.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm just saying, not all frisbee teams are in that league. So, how do you contend?
I mean,
how
there's
do you
like-
get into
If somebody doesn't know shit about that, but they want to get in, how?
Every city. So here's the other thing. I'm gonna like tie this all back together. The software company I work with, we sell the software that basically any city in the United States, like we're talking like Podunk, Arkansas, or like middle of nowhere, Oregon or Montana, has a city where like 30 people get together and have a league. You sign up for your city league. Half of them suck ass. No one is going to judge you for not being able to throw, but there's going to be like 3 guys who can fucking rip it like 40, 50 yards. You'll go deep. You'll catch some goals. It is an absolute blast.
Nice. So where can they find you?
At Aaron Watson 59, Insta and Twitter. Aaron_Watson on Snapchat. Would encourage people to check me out there. And then Going Deep with Aaron is the podcast and the website.
Nice. We appreciate you coming on. And again, if you're listening, check out this podcast. We are there, and then come check out this podcast and see the progression. Or you can go backwards. I mean, clearly, if we're telling you to go back, then you've heard
Time is an
everything we
illusion.
had to say. Shout out to Straub, man.
Ain't no time.
One of the sponsors of this cast. Also, Hooch, man. Like I said, 30 drinks for $1. It's that simple.
You don't really have to say much more than that.
That's it. You know what I mean? Go down, download the app, help support the cast, helps us keep doing what we're doing. Costs you $1, and 30 free drinks, man.
Support your one night stand.
Truth.
Tell them where they can find us.
Well, if you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspot. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, and Google Play under Drinking Partners. And you can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at Partnerspot.
Listen, you love the cast. You tell us you love us when you see us in person. Just tell the internet. We want to thank our guest, Aaron Watson. He's got something to say.
Yo, let's say you've thrown that review up there, you're following on all the different platforms, help these guys out, share this show with one other person who's going to enjoy it. One person, make that 1-to-1 introduction.
Wow.
That's a meaningful change for a show like this. And they'll appreciate that, and that's how you actually make a difference. Like you throw a little review on there, that took you fucking 15 seconds. Put your social capital in line. If you enjoy the show, share it with one other person. Make a difference in these guys' lives.
That's
A white dude said that.
True. We appreciate that, man. That is
White guy in America said that. You have to do it.
102 episodes, and we have never really put in the words like that. We appreciate that, man. If you just introduce us to one other person, it helps us keep going, and it helps us keep supporting the people that we're supporting, man.
Best gift you can give for the holidays is a referral. So, as always, drinking fun. Oh,
Before you drive, I just want to say, shout out to Chris Rollinson. He was a guest on the cast a while back. He was home brewing. He brought us the kombucha,
Yeah.
kombuchi, is that the kombucha?
stop looking at me.
But
I don't have the answer.
he educated us heavily. He's been out ringing the bell at Walmart, getting those dollars for charity and whatnot. He gave us a shout out, and he said, if you're out ringing a bell for charity, Drinking Partners is one of the best podcasts to listen to while doing so. And I just really appreciate his entrepreneurial his what he does with entrepreneurship, the home brewing, and then also the charity, and then the love shot with
Love
listening
Shot's
to
good.
us while doing a charitable thing. So shout out to Chris Rollinson, and happy holidays.
Good guy. Hey, I was doing my slogan and he interrupted. I'm really fucked up.
We are third
Yep.
episode.
Drinking Partners is the crew. Epicast is the family. We out of here.
Good shit, man. Good shit. Reed, that was a marathon.
think I can get high. I can definitely go. I don't know why it's just different, but it's done.
Epicast.